All right, folks. Thanks for joining us today. Apologies for the late start here. We've still got a few people that are streaming in here. You've got to love live hangouts here on Google Plus. It's a really great technology. It's awesome. I'm glad that we're able to do this year. We save people travel time. We save you travel money. We save ourselves money, obviously, from not having to get a bunch of stale coffee and donuts and rent out a big hotel conference room downtown Austin here. But we've got about looks like we've got about 40 people streaming in right now. And so we're going to wait here just a couple more minutes and let a few more people join in. I know sometimes the servers get backed up. We've got about 160 people that are registered for this. Now, honestly, most people, a lot of people register and they're not able to make it, so we're not going to hold that against them, and there will be a rebroadcast of this available next week. But we would like to get as many people live as we can so we can answer your questions. While I'm at it, if you will go, so two housekeeping items. One, there is about a 30-second delay on this. So what I'm saying right now, I actually said 30 seconds ago. So that being the case, I ask that you bear with me on that. If you ask a question, we are going to have Rob's here. He's going to help me field the questions coming in. But I would appreciate a little bit of patience on that. Second housekeeping item is I'm going to be jumping around on some different screens here and do the best I can to answer your questions. We're going to try to keep this to 12:30-ish. I know people have places to be, and you blocked out 30 minutes, 45 minutes for this. We'll have some Q&A at the end. But let's see, we've got about 60 people in here now. I think we're going to get started here in just a second. Let's see. Let's make sure this is streaming as planned. That's always nice when that's working. It's to 12:30-ish. Okay. Good to go on that front. All right. If you have any questions, that's what I was going to say. If you have any questions right now, go ahead and mail those into us. Enter it in the box below. You'll see it and just type it in. It'll shoot over to us. We've kind of turned off the chat function, basically because after this is done, we're going to set this up, and it's going to continue to replay some a couple of weeks from now as businesses continue over the next couple of months of getting their marketing plan in place, and we don't want those chats to always be going. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get started now. I know we've got about 70 something people on now. I'd like to welcome you guys, Lee, Ken. We got Tanya. Tanya, thanks for joining us. I'm glad we were able to get that squared away for you. You actually saw the chat function on our website, and so that is great. That's exactly what it's there for. We got Alec and Scott, and we're just gonna jump right into this. So let me share my screen. Well, first off, let me introduce myself. My name is Jace Campbell with Really Local Marketing here in beautiful Austin, Texas. Really Local Solutions is our company. We have this Really Local Marketing arm. We also have a consulting arm. My background is I am a CPA here in Texas. I was in public accounting for almost a decade. I got tired of working for the big companies and saw where we could bring value to small companies, got involved in a lot of small businesses, a lot of small startups, helping them to grow. Everything from restaurants to golf courses. It was kind of in those niches, if you will. And here over the last year, I would say, we saw this incredible opportunity, especially in some of the things that have happened with Facebook, which we'll talk about in a bit, to target homeowners in a way that they've never been able to be targeted before. And so by presenting those solutions, we're now coming to the table for home and commercial services types of companies, which is you're on today. While we're not going to, this is pretty much slanted at home and commercial services. We'll talk about some other industries also. But we have to be a little bit general in what we're about to talk about. Okay. Every business is different. Every industry is different. And your situation is different from the person down the street from you. And if they're a competitor of yours or not, you have a different capacity for growth. You have different pocketbooks in terms of what you are ready and willing to invest with where you are in your business right now. And so for us, this all gets back to return on investment. You know, we want to make sure that whatever money you're putting into digital marketing, you're getting your best return on investment. If you had an unlimited pocketbook, then obviously you would invest in everything there is. You would be on every news, you'd be on every website there is with an advertisement, but that doesn't make sense. So we're going to jump over here. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to jump over to share my entire screen and jump over here to this digital marketing playbook. Okay, so I'm not going to shrink this down, and if you can stick with me on this. So our agenda today, first things first, digital channels with the best return on investment. But first, let's talk about brand marketing. We have a lot of clients who say, well, brand marketing, why do I need brand marketing? Well, let's look at someone like McDonald's. McDonald's, you might have read this on one of our blog posts. McDonald's has awful food, right? And it's not going to be compared with anyone. However, McDonald's has done a heck of a job branding, and so McDonald's continues to grow. Ray Kroc, I believe it is, who founded. He said, "We're not a burger company. We are a real estate company. They get prime real estate where eyes are see it. From that real estate, they generate traffic, and we'll talk about traffic in just a bit. Same way on the radio. Radio advertisements, television advertisements. These are not replacements for these things. What we're talking about today are not replacements. They are an alternative. They are complementary. They're a different channel, and they're a channel that really has different economics behind it. But let's talk now about the marketing and sales funnel, okay? And we're going to be very quick about this because this is not why you're here today. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Brand marketing plus lead generation brings you ready to buy customers. And this is from a digital standpoint, whether you're talking about Facebook, you're talking about your website, right? It starts at, you have ready to buy customers who then turn into website visitors. You convert those website visitors into appointments, sales leads of some sort, whether you're a business that does take appointment requests or if the request for proposals or things, and it leads to new sales. And from the appointments, right, from this appointments down to the new sales, we can't do anything to help that process. That's on you, right? We can help you get ready to buy customers down to the appointment stage, but to convert them into sales, that's on you as a salesperson, you as a business owner. But so here we go. We cannot control the number of ready to buy customers. If you're an HVAC business, if you're a roofer in Houston, Texas, we can't control how many people need a roof repair right now. We just can't do it. A storm comes through, a hurricane comes through. In Texas here, we get a tornado through or a hailstorm. That affects that, but we can't control it. But what we can control down here is the amount of market share coming to your website, and we can't pull a lever and make it exact, but what we can do is invest in the promotion of that traffic to get those ready to buy customers to your website, right? So let's say we have 10% market share. So 10% of the people go to your website that need your service right now, okay? Of that, 10% of those website visitors turn into appointments. And then we'll say you have a 50% close ratio. I don't know if that's good for your business. I don't know if that's bad for your business. That's a number, once again, I'm saying that we can't control, okay? Let's take it one step further. Now let's say if we can do more to drive traffic to your website, traffic being the key term here, if we can drive more traffic to your website, all of a sudden you have 200 visitors instead of 100, right? We still can't control this number up here. We have 200 visitors. Your website looks exactly the same, right? So at this point, you get 200 visitors. You have a 10% conversion rate. That's 20 appointments, and that's 10 new sales. You've seen how we altered one of these numbers here, and it's trickled down, right? And what we've altered so far is the traffic. We haven't done anything about the website. Now, flip side of that, we still have 1,000 ready to buy customers, right? We have 10% market share. Now we make improvements in your website, and we're going to go through those, kind of a checklist of some items in a bit, and we'll look at your website. If you'll let us know, let's see what emails we've got coming in here, because I know we do have a couple emails coming in. We do have some emails coming in. Sorry, guys, we're getting to these as fast as we can. A lot of emails. Okay, we'll check out. Yep, we'll check out some of those sites later on. So what we can do though is make your website convert the traffic that does arrive to your website. And we see people, we talk to people every day, and we reach out to companies that have websites that are 5-10 years old, and they say, no, I'm happy. And the truth is they're happy because they're not measuring it. If I could say, if we can rebuild your website for you, then, if anyone, I'm not even saying us, if anyone rebuilds your website for you, gives it a modern look and a converting website, the same amount of traffic going to your website can double your business. It's just, now that's saying that people are going to your website. A lot of people go to your website. If it's an old website, they're not converting at all. What's the point in having it? So, and so once again, we're converting more website visitors into appointments. But we're not changing how many people are willing to buy, and we're not changing what your close ratio is. So there's two different things that we tweak there, right? Let's jump down here. So important factors to understand when we're talking about digital marketing. And we go over this in strategy sessions with our clients. And we're bringing this to you because we expect that you, as you go through your strategy sessions here for 2015, these are very important for you. First and foremost is understand your ideal customers, right? Most people have an idea of their ideal customers. That sounds silly to think that people don't, but when we start to push the buttons and we ask the questions around the demographics, you might know what general areas of a city, but what's the home values? Are these $150,000 to $300,000 homes? Are these $500,000 homes to $1 million homes? What's the age of the people that are using it for the most part? These are all things that we can target when we start talking about social media in a bit. And so these are important to know. Have a pulse on who your most profitable customers are. If the 25-year-old college graduate who just bought their house used you once and they don't call you back again, they were just price shopping, they bought Groupon, and they're not going to use you again, that's not your ideal customer. So let's not talk about that as being an ideal customer. If you've got a 45-year-old married couple who has been with you for 10 years, they've had a service plan with you for the last 4 years, and you can estimate that they will continue to use you 4 to 6 more times over the next decade. Okay, well, that's an ideal customer. And we're kind of talking from a service standpoint. If you're, security, pest control, HVAC, heating, roofers, probably you guys don't have quite that same. But once again, in Texas, once more, storms come through on a regular basis. And are you getting those customers that are out shopping for some guy in his pickup truck, some guy that's, got a business, got to deal with Groupon or Living Social, or you have someone who's appreciated the value you bring, right? And that's part of it. You have to also understand your competition. We'll talk about competition in just a little bit. We like to say you create your own economy, right? I mean, we talk to people and all the economy is down. People aren't buying like they used to. Well, if a roof blows off your house, you're getting your roof repaired. That's not one of those things you don't do. If you're in Texas in the middle of June and it's 110 degrees and your air conditioner freezes up on you, this happened to us just this last year. I still don't understand the mechanics of air conditioner freezing up. But you better believe that we're calling someone to get them out quick. We're pulling the pennies out of the couch to get those types of things done, right? So even when the economy is down, you create your own economy. You create your own economy by providing great service and by investing in building the traffic and the conversion tools to grow. For every business you show me that fails in this economy, I can show you another business that's taking their business, because the market share of these services does not vary enough that you're gonna see it in your bottom line. You're gonna see it in your bottom line when people are stealing market share from you. And lastly, your capacity for growth. There's no point in us putting together a plan with you and you investing to have 100 new leads a day if you don't have a salesperson that can go out there and sell 100 new leads a day, or better yet, if they sell it, you don't have enough trucks to be able to handle that. Now, our consulting part of our practice goes into the operations and finances and growing that business. But from a marketing standpoint, you have to right size what you're doing. So here we go. Let's jump past this. Let's go straight in. Well, okay, the three-pronged approach. Once again, new customers through word of mouth referrals. That's probably your most successful customers that you have are the ones who come from word of mouth referrals. We got acquisition of new customers through brand marketing, being found when someone's looking for you. And lastly, retaining existing customers. Instill that loyalty with your customers so they're not going out looking for your low price competitor, right? So, all right, let's jump into our brand assets. Checking my time here, 12:18. Trying to be quick. Online brand assets. You got your website, right? And you have your Facebook page. These are the first things that are critical. And we'll talk about why the traffic is there in a bit. But from the standpoint of your website, let's look at your current, do you have a current Web 2.0 design? Is there a clear path to action? Video is a plus. It's not necessary, but video tells the story of who you are. And it's not one of those yellow pages, yellow book videos that pans across the screen a couple of times and, tells you, we are an HVAC company and we repair your HVAC and we're good people. It's not that. This is a video that shows a picture of your staff and it talks, it's talking to the person who's watching the video as a customer, as a friend. This is not something you can throw together you can't do this type of video for $100, which is probably what Yellow Book's done. They've, outsourced these things to India and they're cranking them out with some still photos that they've got out there from your industry and things like that. Is it easy to navigate? Another critical aspect of this. Is it mobile optimized? If your website is more than 3 years old, then more than likely it is not mobile optimized. And you can very easily see if it's mobile optimized. Just go to your mobile phone, go to your cell phone right now, type in your website, and do you have to pinch or squeeze? You know what I'm saying? You have to put your fingers on the screen and move it around to see what you're even trying to, what message you're trying to convey. And lastly, is it engaging? And if you go to our website, I actually know we need to make some improvements to our website from a clear path and from a mobile standpoint. Us being business to business, we're a little bit, I recognize that's an improvement that we need to make to our site, but we don't have many people. You don't search on your phone for marketing firms much. HVAC, roofers, things like that. God, you guys are searched online. Probably over half of your searches come from online even. So, from your mobile. So it's important to have a mobile site. Your Facebook page, having a complete profile, posting consistently. So we talk to people. This is, a story I like to get into a little bit. We talk to customers, clients every week, and a lot of prospective clients about this. They say, we have done what Facebook before and we stopped because we thought it was a waste of time, and time is money. I say absolutely. If you look at their page, they posted, they started out posting, and maybe this is your story. You started out posting 4 times in one day, right? And after a couple weeks, then you started posting 4 times in a week, and you weren't really seeing anything from it. You weren't getting a lot of likes. You weren't adding a lot of new fans and things like that. Weren't seeing any comments on your posts. So then you start posting once a week, and then once a month, and now you post once every 3 months. You'll post, the cold weather hit yesterday in Texas. So I guess across the country, it hit yesterday, right? Today's November 13th, just so you were on the same page. Yesterday, cold weather hit. I bet there's 1,000 heater companies that went on Facebook yesterday and said, the cold front's here. Don't, call us today to get your inspection and get this super duper coupon deal that we are offering, right? That's probably what happened. And absolutely no one is going to see those posts. And the reason why is because Facebook doesn't work like that anymore. Facebook is having to show posts to people that it thinks the person wants to see. If it showed you every single post of every single person and every single friend or every single fan page when they posted, you would see nothing but garbage. Facebook has to preserve the user experience. So those posts that people put out yesterday and today aren't doing any good unless they are doing the paid advertising. And we'll get to traffic here in just a bit. Solicit both good and bad feedback. Be responsive to people on Facebook. Connect personally with staff photos. Demonstrate the quality of your work, in photos. And lastly, be fun, not controversial. If you love President Obama or if you hate President Obama, that's fine. And it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Okay. If you want to post those things, just know that no matter what position you take, there's going to be some portion of people, half for, half against, that don't agree in that position. And do you want to alienate those people or not? Now, if you say, I only want to do business with people who love President Obama. Okay, well, that's your choice. As a professional, we're just saying if you will separate the two, then you might actually see benefit from that. And once again, you got to be posting regularly. So let's talk about driving traffic now. Okay, I think we're going to go back to, we're going to look at some websites here. But if you guys could go ahead and in the chat box below, type in some emails, type in the chat box below some websites you want us to look at. There's a couple I'm going to pull up here also from people that we know are on. But if you have any questions, definitely ask them, please. So step 2, driving traffic. So with our search engines, we've got paid search engine advertising. We can do that with Google. We can do that with Yahoo and Bing. Yahoo, Bing is the same search engine purchasing platform now. So you buy one, you get both. And the rates are actually a little bit lower than Google just because they don't, there's not as much competition. There's not as much competition because there's not as much, honestly, there's not as many people that search on those sites. Google's the big dog in the room. It's top dog. So what you pay for search engine advertising varies by industry. And that's, if you want to get into those specifics, then we're going to talk offline, one-on-one about what it costs. And we can look and see what other people in your industry are paying. I just met on Tuesday with a company. I think we're going to look at their ad targeting here in just a minute. But their competitors in this space for HVAC in the Austin, Texas area, probably within 50 miles of Austin, the words that they're wanting to rank for, they're paying anywhere from $8 to $40 every time someone clicks on their ad. Okay. I can't tell you if that's an investment worth making for you or not. I would bet that if you are a huge commercial outfit and those are the words that you're trying to pay, you pay $40 for, then it's probably worth it. If you get at $40 per click, you get 50 clicks, that's $2,000. But because of that, you land a $50,000 commercial HVAC installation. All right, well, that probably made a lot of sense. But if you are talking about residential customers and someone's just clicking through and you're paying $20 a click and it costs you 10 clicks or $200 to earn that one customer, it might not be worth it for you. Well, so that takes us to step 2. What can we do to improve that? We can, aside from search engine marketing, where people actually search, and we can do retargeting for your website visitors. So when someone does go to your website, we're able to continue to show ads to that person after they left your website when they're on, not necessarily on Google, but part of the Google network, right? So you see these when you go to Amazon, when you go to, Amazon's a good example. You go to Amazon and look for a new blender, and all of a sudden when you go search the web and you're on CNN and Fox News and MSNBC and the Huffington Post and all those sites, you're seeing ads for blenders everywhere. And you might even be seeing the ad for the exact blender that you were looking at on Amazon. We can do the same thing for you. Study after study shows how incredibly valuable retargeting is, because it's warming people up to your brand, right? And it's It is just reinforcing that you can deliver on what they initially were scoping you out for. And lastly, with search engines, we got search engine optimization. And people come out and they say SEO is dead. You know, you've probably heard that. You've probably been pitched SEO. SEO honestly got a very bad name for a very long time because of a lot of very bad actors. Bottom line is SEO still exists. It's just there's different ways to go about it. No longer can you, I mean, honestly, 7 years ago, you could hire a firm in India. You could pay them $100 a month. They could do a lot of very spammy things, and they could get you ranked. And it was probably a great value at that point in time. But that's not how it works anymore. Google's caught on. Instead of updating their algorithms once or twice a year, Google now sends updates to SEOs every week saying, here's the changes to, you know, you hear these words, penguin and panda and hummingbird. Here's the changes that have happened. And, you know, just recently they happened around Google Places and showing up on that Google 7-pack on the map when someone searches for your business. So changes are always happening. It's a more expensive proposition, and it's not for every type of industry, for every type of market. If you're in a town of 2,000 people, search engine optimization may not be worth it, because if someone goes online, they're probably only finding you anyway. If they're looking on Google, they're probably only finding you anyway. But there is a place for it in big enough cities. And once again, you have to be, the traffic has to be worth it to you. It might be worth using paid advertising. It might be worth using search engine optimization. But what we like to do with our clients is we like to do both. We like to start with search engine advertising, the paid advertising, see where the traffic's coming from, justify the cost of the SEO, because if we can't justify the additional cost of the SEO, then there's no point in doing it. It's just bottom line. There's no point in doing it. So we start with the paid advertising. We see what keywords people are coming to your site from, how long they're sticking around in your website, things like that. We have both on page and off page. You'll see some companies that'll say, oh, we've got, we can do, we build a website for you and it is fully search engine optimized. Well, yes and no. You have built it with on page optimization so that, the crawlers can read the site, but that's only half the battle. Once again, if you're in a town of 1,000 people, that might be all it takes, is because there's no other competition for those keywords. If you're in a city, then you better believe that Google is trying to rank what it thinks are the most credible and trustworthy sites. Which sites are most popular based on all these signals, these social signals coming from other places on the internet. And that's where off page is. That's where off page search engine optimization comes into play. And I mean, it's one of those, I say it's a science, it's an art, but it's always changing. And so if you want to talk to us about that one-on-one, like I said, we don't jump straight to that, basically because it is more expensive. We don't jump to it right away in our, and so we'll move on from that and say in our 3 points earlier of where you can optimize your online revenue, generate revenue from your online marketing. Word of mouth referrals is the biggest thing, right? Those are the ideal customers you want. And Facebook is the ideal place to do that. Facebook introduced something a couple years ago called the social graph. And if you go into Facebook now and you start typing in that bar, you will see where, if you start typing air conditioning repair in Austin, you'll start to see some air conditioning companies pop up. And they're basically creating a search engine within Facebook. So right now we understand the algorithms behind, we understand there are algorithms behind Google in who it's showing you and how it thinks that certain websites are more credible than others, how businesses are more credible than others. Facebook, on the other hand, when you type in air conditioning repair in Austin, it's going to show you the list of air conditioning repair companies, and the list is going to be based on how many of your friends have liked and reviewed those companies and where they are in geographic proximity to you. We had this article, I think we released this article last week or 2 weeks ago, and there's been studies that came out last month. Yelp and Angie's List both have been hit really hard in the stock market this year. They got pounded again last month when it came out, and they said that their expected their expected revenue growth is slowing for both this quarter and projected into next year. And the reason why is because studies are coming out and they're saying that there's a generation of people now, and it's going to grow. It's starting with millennials, and it'll grow, who are moving away from Yelp and Angie's List towards social media sites because they're tired of business reviews from people they don't know. There's an anonymity factor to Yelp and Angie's List, and I get it. I enjoy Yelp at times. It was a cool idea, but you get calls every day from Yelp, I am sure, to advertise with them. And Yelp is one of those things where the way to dominate on Yelp is not to pay for advertising. The way to dominate on Yelp is to get more reviews, more good reviews than everyone else, because people know what paid advertising is. You could be using it from a brand marketing standpoint, but if we're talking about brand marketing, I can find 1,000 other sites to get you cheaper impressions, which is what brand marketing is about. Eyeballs on your brand, namely Facebook. We'll talk. We'll jump into that here in just a second in terms of the. Checking email here very quickly in terms of cost per impression and the targeting that we have compared with Yelp. Yelp has even come out and said, look, don't try to convert your customers to be Yelpers. What you need, Yelp is its own closed ecosystem, and what you do is you convert people who are Yelpers into your customers. The problem is that pool of Yelpers is a certain subset of the population, and it's going to continue to shrink as people go back towards things like Facebook. I would rather go to Facebook and type in roofing companies in Austin and see reviews from 4 of my friends that have said something about a roofing company, those people that I trust, versus people who they write really witty banter. They have great writing skills on Yelp, and they are, anytime you've got those choices of, is this useful or is this funny? And it's funny. I don't know what that says about, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, Tanya, let's look at this. We're going to look at Rose Roofing. We had that come in a minute ago, and I'm going to, let's see here, roseroofing.com. Let's check it out, Tanya. All right, guys, stick with us here.
Hi.
Whoa. Hi. What do we have?
Click here for a selection of short videos to learn what that means for you and your home.
Okay. Owens Corning. That's a name that we know. That's a brand name we know and trust, right? Let's just start out here. Let's go through our checklist here for a website since we're here. So first off, I'm going to see just quick browsing here. I'm going to look and see, and it looks like copyright 2005. So it looks like maybe you guys did this a couple of years ago. If we pull this up on our mobile phone, it's probably not going to pull up real clean. But Tanya, my first question to this would once again be: is there any traffic coming to this website? Having a website's great, but you need traffic to it. Right now, I don't know if you're generating traffic to it, but the website's not jumping out at me. Nothing's jumping out at me and says, this is our professional home on the internet. This is your storefront. From the first 10 seconds, we like to say, can the site visitor answer the 5 W's: the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And I see here Ken Rose Roofing. Ken Rose, the roofer. Great. Now my question is, where are you a roofer? Are you a roofer in visiting? I've got to click here to go to first. Where? I don't see the phone number. I don't see a way to contact you. I don't see anything jumping out at me saying, here's where I need to go. Here's the clear path to the next step in this process. That was a good little video there from Owens Corning. I don't know what, click here. It's going to pop up here and see Owens Corning video. It's taking a bit to light. It looks like these videos might just be from Owens Corning and not be your videos. So, telling you that might be a broken link there too. It's not loading. If it loads on yours, then it's just my computer. But yeah. So it might be a broken link there. I don't see a phone number. I don't see an inquiry box. Once again, I'm not sure where you guys are located by looking at this. So we'll go here to the About Us. I'm assuming that's the business owner there. I don't know if you're the business owner or not, but maybe. Well, I bet you are. But I bet that's Tanya right there. Tanya, I still can't tell exactly where you guys do business. Houston, Texas. Okay, so this is a good example, right? I mean, it took me within 10 seconds. I could tell you were a roofer, but I didn't know. Oh gosh, I don't know how to make that stop. How to make that stop. Within 10 seconds, I knew you were a roofer. I didn't really necessarily know where you're a roofer. I didn't know how to contact you. I didn't know, those are just kind of my questions I've got. So here's the thing: is first off, I would say you probably, if you want to look at the internet and internet marketing as a growth path for you, then you probably need to invest in a new website, and that's nowadays that's not expensive. You can talk to us offline, and we've got monthly plans that basically you're for $150 a month, and you got a new up-to-date website all the time. We work with you to customize it and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the website, if you have this website, then I hope that you are not paying a lot of other places to have your ad there to drive people to this website. Back to our funnel from earlier, right? If you have all this traffic coming to your website, but you're not able to convert your website into an appointment, then what good is it doing you? At the same time, if we were to redo a website for you, make a snazzy new modern 2.0 web 2.0 style website, if you don't get driving traffic to it, doesn't do you any good. It's a two-part process, and both parts are necessary. Trying to think of what else I'm seeing here from the site standpoint, and I mean, it looks like maybe y'all did it yourself, and that's understandable. One other thing is this is not uncommon. Just so you know, I'm not bashing Tanya. I'm not bashing your website at all. We come across this all the time, and the bottom line is that if someone's coming to your site because they know you, if they know you, they know Ken, and they're coming here just to find, they're like, where do I call? Okay, there's the phone number where I can call them. I know Ken, I know Tanya, I've trusted them, I've used them for years. Then this website works just fine for that. It gets the information across. But if you're trying to attract a new customer for the first time, then there's nothing really there. If you'll hang on with me here, Tanya, let's jump over. I want to jump over to Facebook actually, because I would like to see if y'all have got a Facebook presence. And if you don't have a Facebook presence, let's see, that was our ads manager. So I'm gonna go back over here to Facebook. Facebook.com. I apologize for whatever shows up on Facebook here. This is live, and you know how that can happen. And it is someone's dad's birthday. Let's see, Rose Roofing. And for your website, it's also be good to link this in. Rose Roofing Company, Lakeview. This is it. This is you right here. All right, let's check this out. Let's see how active. So 47 likes, not a lot going on there. I will say this: don't let likes be the be on end all. Folks, I'm sorry. It's 12:41. We're gonna try to hurry through this and wrap this up, and we'll take some more questions. If you got more questions, send them in. We still got a good chunk of people online here, and I know a lot of these questions may be ones that you want to talk about afterwards, one-on-one. We can definitely do that. But so we've got Event created, yeah, back in May. I'm sorry to see that event actually. And so you haven't really done much on the site. You got some reviews down here. You do have some reviews, some a 4-star review, a 5-star review. We got seven. I don't know, this is about seven reviews by these people. Up here you've got 8 public reviews, 1 star and 1 4-star and 7 5-stars. Here's the thing: is no one's seeing this. If you make a post today, saying, get your roofing checked out before winter hits, and I don't know if you guys do things like insulation also maybe, or if you're just doing the roofing itself, but we take it one step further and we want to get seen by people. So let's jump back over into this. I'm not going to comment too much on this Facebook because I can tell you guys you probably didn't see anything from it. You haven't seen anything from it before, but let's jump into this ad targeting on Facebook. Okay. We can target people on Facebook by zip code. We can target people like this. I guess this one right here, we're looking at people that were within 15 miles of San Marcos, or 25 miles, or 30 miles of San Marcos, Texas, which is, if you don't know, is a college town 30 miles south of Austin here. We are targeting homeowners specifically, and we can see that the reach on Facebook is 26,000 people. It's a split between people who are on desktop and mobile, and so some are on both most of the time. We go one step further. We said, hey, let's look at recent home buyers. We could also look at people who recently moved to the area. But here, we said, look at recent home buyers that are homeowners. Okay, well, that's 400 people who have moved to San Marcos, who've moved in this area within the last 6 months, and they might not have a roofing company yet that they've used. They might not have an HVAC company. They're looking for local businesses to do business with. So we could target your branding specifically to them, right? What's another one here? We got still homeowners, a little bit bigger of an area, recent home owners. Here, the people who make decisions in your, buying decisions for your customers. This one right here is females who are married, who are homeowners within 30 miles of San Marcos. Is your business one where, and I don't, maybe it may be different by area, but is it one where, the housewives usually are the ones who take care of things, take care of the home matters, and that's not always the case. I'm just using that as an example. And then the last example here that's really cool that Facebook allows us now, has this option, is they have integrated, all this data comes from integrations with companies like CSX and Polk, and we can actually target people by home value. So here we're saying females that are homeowners, and once again, the only reason we said females here is because we're trying to show the different ways that we can split this up, right? But by home value, from less than $150,000 up to, I think it keeps going all the way up, kind of broken out like this, to over $2 million. And so if you said, if you are a security company, home security, and you go, we don't want to do the small houses. We want to do houses that are over $1 million houses, right? Only in these certain zip codes at that. Maybe you want to do all the homes in a zip code because, well, it's just that kind of an area where people would be wanting security. We can target those people specifically. So stop doing the mailers that go into every post office box and things like that. Instead, we can actually deliver 10 times a day. We do something called pulsing with Facebook. So we'll write the ads, we create the post, we pulse, and we distribute those ads to, say that audience 10 times over a couple of days, and then they don't hear from you again. They don't see anything again for a few days, right? So we'll set a plan in place. Maybe it's 3 days on, 3 days off, or 2 days where we're really pounding your brain awareness really hard over the weekend. We take Monday and Tuesday off, Wednesday off, then we start again on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday we ramp it up. So that pulsing allows us to squeeze more of your advertising budget. Basically, we're basically squeezing more of your advertising with the repetitions, because we're not just showing the ads all the time. And lastly, so we've talked about Facebook advertising. That's the thing. You got to be consistent about Facebook in posting Facebook. And then you've got to pay to advertise, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that people have after this about our fees for doing those sort of thing and how much we can handle for you. Once again, it's an individual situation. It comes down to your market, to your competition, and to your ability to grow and to handle more business. Um, Lastly, optimizing lifetime value, lifetime customer value. Um, this is where you have to develop the system. You put a system in place for client retention. This is a follow-up email after the service. This is a follow-up phone call. So what we do is we have uh, teams that you send us. Here's the people that we handled this week that we did HVAC service for. You shoot that to us, and our team reaches out to them and sends them an email and says, is there anything? Are you happy with the service? Is there anything more that we can do? Is there anything we can do to improve? A member of our team actually calls and says, "Hi, my name is Jace with with your company's satisfaction department, customer satisfaction, customer quality satisfaction department. We figure out whatever that script is with you, but we say, we're just calling to follow up on our service from last week and see if you're happy, if we can do anything to improve." Asking if there's anything you can do to improve. Most people say, no, it was fantastic. But the fact that you asked, you just differentiated yourself from most service companies out there. There's a reason why service companies come and go, and it's because a lot of people just forget about service after the sale, and you've gotten where you are because you as a business organically, because you do know what you know how to take care of your customer. But it's just another thing we can do. Thank customers on social media. Ask their permission and get a picture of your service tech Bob shaking hands with Carl. Carl's been a customer for 30 years. We've been repairing his unit for the last 10 years and finally decided that it was cost effective and it made financial sense to install a new unit. He got a new train unit, and his utility bill is going to drop by 20% a year. All right, something to that effect, and we can help craft all that for you. But do something to recognize those customers. It's so little effort. It really is so little effort. It's just taking a little bit of time, and once again, we've got the team to do that. We a lot of these things that we're talking about, you could do on your own. And they don't take a lot of time to do on your own. But if you were committed to doing it, you'd already be doing it, right? And so that's why we have the infrastructure in place on our side to help be the support unit for you. Text messages, when appropriate, we have text messaging service as well. It might make sense from an appointment standpoint, but a lot of you guys, text messages are bigger in the restaurant business. People probably don't need to get text messages from their security company or their pest control or lawn care service or anything like that, right? The one thing this kind of, I would say, it kind of goes back into the Facebook also. But you guys, your businesses are one built on trust, and being able to show your customers happy and thank your customers on Facebook builds a level of trust. These people are inviting you into their home, right? And so it brings that level of trust. So when someone shows up at the door, they can go online and they can see, you call them in advance. You say, hey, Jeff's coming out, and Jeff shows up, and they went to your website and they can see a picture of Jeff. So they know what Jeff looks like, right? There's some apps and things like that out there, some specialty software programs that you might even use. I'm sure that they are a little bit pricey, because you can do the same things with your website, just having your staff photos and things like that. Lastly, here we have our monitor online reputation, and I say this: take the criticism personally. Do whatever it's in your power to make it right, unless it's just beyond reason. If someone, this is very common in very, very common, almost all business. You'll have someone say, that part that you charged me $100 for. I went on eBay and I found that sprocket for $12, and your guy charged me $100 to come out and put it in. Well, that's tough to answer, because basically the answer is we got bills to pay, right? I mean, you can sometimes you can you can, a lot of people don't like to answer those questions, but I think it's important to say, we understand that, but we brought the value, and that's the, that's the market. We help you to formulate that kind of language, but it's important to respond to people, not to be cranky about it, and not to be mean. I mean, take it personally in that you really want to make it right for this person, and in that sort of situation, don't give them their money back. It's a matter of just explaining why. You're right. We don't buy the part for $100 and sell it to you for $100, but we, that is what the market. That is what our competitors are all charging, and we did have to send someone out there, and it took them an hour to do. There's an old story, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, and it kind of even applies to what we're doing right here, because people ask how we charge for our services and our websites that we build for you, and things like that. And I'll talk about the website again here in just a minute. But this big machine, right? The big machine that's running, and it breaks, it goes down, and every minute that machine is down, it's costing this huge multi-million-dollar firm hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they spend hours trying to fix this machine. They're going through all the user manuals and everything they can. And finally, they decide to call the manufacturer, and they send a repair kit out. The machine's been down 2 hours. It's cost them, well, what's the math on that? It's cost them over $7 million in downtime. The guy comes out, takes one screwdriver out, puts it in the hole, turns it half a turn to the right, the machine starts right up. Guy goes, thank you so much. Sends us the bill. The bill is for $10,000. The guy goes, $10,000? I'm going to need you to explain yourself for that. The guy was, okay, well, it was $1 for turning that through. It was $9,999 for which screw to turn. And this is about, right? It's about you bringing the value to your customers. And that's the same thing from our standpoint. We have to continually justify our existence to you, because if you're not seeing more business, then there's no reason you would be with our firm or with any other firm. So let's see if we've got, a lot of these questions here we're kind of going through. As we go through our talk. We talked about the website. One thing about our websites, people say, how do you do websites for $150? It must be a crappy website that's going to get old and stale and has been used by everyone else. And here's the deal. It's $250 usually setup fee. Sometimes, we run specials where we waive that or not, or usually don't waive that. Usually that number is higher than that, more so because of the investment we have up front. But we say as a website, we will gladly, create a website for you. It's going to cost between $3,500 and $10,000, depending on how complex it is. But these sites that generally, you can come buy us for $3,500, $3,500 to $4,500 in this home and commercial services space. Well, if we charge you $150 a month, over the course of a year, that's $1,800. Over the course of 2 years, that's $3,600. So what we're saying is, look, we don't want you to be a one-time customer. We want to provide you amazing service. We want to build a site for you that you're happy with, make the tweaks to it, and maintain it on a regular basis. We want to make it a predictable cost, a predictable expense to running your business. You have truck payments, you have service truck payments, you have rent that you pay. Just think of your website as an online store, your online storefront. And so it's something that you can budget around. And we know that if we keep you happy, we'll have you as a customer for years. After a couple of years, it also helps you to get into a new website, because websites change, website technology changes, and it's best to, every 2.5 to 3 years to update your website anyway. And so by having these small payments, that's a foreseeable cost at the 2.5, 3 year mark, we can then invest and build you another website with the newest technology, newest engagement factors, and all those types of things, new design, and it's an easy transition because it's not costing anything else, right? It's not costing anything more. It's just continuing on the same path of of our relationship. Whereas if it's going to cost you another $4,000, $5,000, you would probably put it off, and then you end up with a website that is 7 years old, like many of you out there have, right? So anyway, I think that is all we're going to talk about today. I've ran about 15 minutes longer than I was planning on. Tanya, I hope that gave you a little insight into your website. And I'd really be excited to talk to you about that offline. Is that if you're on here, then you're obviously looking to make some growth and make some changes here in 2015. And that, I think that you have opportunity. You have the assets there. You need to bulk your assets up. Then we talk about traffic and really get to the heart of, is there traffic in your area to drive to that site? And is it traffic that is worth, once again, we can drive all this traffic, but if you can't service it all, then it doesn't do you any good. So, folks, I think at that, we're going to wrap this up. I don't see any more questions coming in that we have not talked about. So we will sign off here just short of the 1 hour mark. Again, thanks for joining us. We don't normally do these live, and really excited about doing this live. Just so we can answer this question in real time. There will be a rebroadcast of this available next week. You will get an email about that here in the next couple of hours, or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure how that's set up actually. But we'll make sure that you do get that, so you can pass along the link to any of your colleagues that are interested. Let's see if we can pull back to here we go. It's coming back online now. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, my name is Jace Campbell with Really Local Marketing here in beautiful and a bit cold Austin, Texas. It is coming up right at 1 p.m. Central Time on November 13th. I hope we've given you some good food for thought as you put together your strategic marketing plans for 2015. 2015 doesn't have to be like 2014. If you're cruising along the status quo and you're okay with that, then this probably wasn't the webinar for you. But if you're wanting to grow, if you're wanting to create your own economy, and make the investments that the big companies make, the companies that are growing, the corporations that are growing at 10-20% a year in your industry, and you wonder how is they're doing it. It's because they're doing the blocking and tackling. They're doing these very foundational types of things to get more customers, get more new customers, keep their current customers, and more importantly, to get word of mouth referrals from those existing customers. So again, Jace Campbell, thank you guys for joining us. We are now signing off, and y'all have a great rest of your Thursday. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.